step the foot really far ahead. Keep the toes and the knee facing the diagonal. Hey everyone, welcome to class. Today's class is actually a tutorial. I got a unique question the other day about doing a half squat, which I'll show you in a second. But I thought that while it's not like this comes up every day, I do think a lot of people struggle with this pose because it can be a little bit awkward. So I thought it would be great to go over how to get into it and actually stay there without falling over backwards. So when I say half squat, this is what I mean. So we do this a lot in classes where we whoop and stay here. Sometimes we stay upright, sometimes we lean forward, sometimes we open, but this can be a very awkward shape to take because a lot of people can't seem to stay upright. You end up falling backwards, right? So if this is you, where you feel like your body doesn't allow you to stay up and you keep falling down, here's some of the things that you can do to make this feel a little bit easier. So first thing I'll go over is the placement of your foot. I'm doing this on my right side, so if you want to do it with me, you can. So the placement of the foot, I think one thing where we get tripped up on is people don't step the foot as far ahead as they need to. So instead of stepping all the way up, you step maybe halfway and then you try to sit down. And of course, you're immediately going to fall on your butt because you don't have the space exactly to hold it. Another thing, you notice where my foot is pointing. My foot is pointing straight ahead and my knee and my hip are pointing straight ahead. So this, my chest is my knee is sort of in the way of my chest. So for me to hold this shape requires a whole lot of flexion of my ankle, and that feels very unnatural and very difficult to sustain. So when my chest and my knee are in the same level, it's very difficult to hold this, right? So instead of not stepping my foot as far ahead as I could, I didn't step it too far, and my toes and my knee are facing straight to the side of my mat. That's problem number one. So to address that, I want you to almost think of moving into kind of like you would in pigeon. You know how in pigeon I tell you to like open the hip out to the side so that you can create space for the hips and pelvis to face forward. A side squat is kind of similar. You have to step the foot really far ahead and keep the toes and the knee facing the diagonal so that when you sit down, my knee is not in the way. My knee and my chest are not conflicting. My chest is open to the front and my hip is rotated to the side. So my knee and my toes are facing the diagonal, my chest and my body are facing the side. So see, I have space to be here. I can lean a little bit forward so that I'm not falling backwards on my butt. Make sense? So already that's huge. That should be like a game changer for this particular thing. Now the other problem, if you're falling backwards, could be, if that doesn't completely fix the problem, the other thing could be that you just are a little bit tight in the Achilles, the ankle, and the calf. Because if that shape in general is really difficult for you to hold and you feel like your heel pops up, it's just that you're a little bit tight in the foot, the ankle, the calf perhaps. So working on increasing your flexibility around there is going to be really useful. And you can do that by stepping your toes up on a block, so that your toes are elevated, your heel is down. So actually I see my block over here. I'll just like whoop. So whether you have a block or something else that's roughly the same height as a block, that is pretty easy to stretch out. So doing this kind of a stretch fairly regularly to prep for poses that require a lot of flexibility in that area is really good. So doing this, you can do this every day. And so yeah, if your side squat is awkward because you can't get the heel down, making sure that you have the length in the calf and in the back of the ankle is important. So doing something like this will help. So those are the two takeaways I want you to have from this one, and that is make sure in your squat, as you're stepping forward, you step very wide and you turn the toes to the corner of your mat. The knee faces the same direction so that when you turn to the side, you have that space for your chest to face forward. Otherwise, when the knee and the toes are facing straight ahead and you come down, whoop, everything is sort of in the way. So you need to create a little bit more space. So those are your 2 takeaways that I hope help. Step it really wide, open the hip to the diagonal so the chest can face forward. And if you're very tight in the ankle, the foot, or the calf, stretch it out on a block, on a tennis ball, or on a step. Anything like that will work. So give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. If that helped, let me know. And of course, other tutorials, like other poses you want to see me break down, other classes, definitely let me know in the comments below. Now, if you like this, you like my style, make sure you check out my digital studio, which I'll link to in the description below. I do brand new full-length classes every single week. And then I also separately have some more comprehensive programs that walk you through like step-by-step between 8 to 12 weeks, meal planning elements, community, you have lots of accountability, things like that. I'm gonna link to all of this in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you right back here next time.